Hey, it's Brutalis. Welcome. I'm making a new video today, and I'm going to show you my Paladin build for Lost Ark. The video will have two parts: Pve build and PvP build. First, I'm going to show the Pve build, which is a build that you'll be using to fight mobs, Guardian Rage, Chaos Dungeons, Abyssal Dungeons, and so on. I'm going to show you the important skills that you should have and the skills that you can change and choose whatever you want. So first, let's see the important skill. Charge is the most important skill. I suggest that you pick quick prep so you can charge around with lower cooldowns. Charge is very useful for positioning, escaping AoEs, and avoiding boss attacks. Second, a very important skill that you should always have is Executor Sword. You don't really need points in it, although I should suggest you should get quick pace. When the boss glows blue in Guardian Raids, you stand in front of the boss, use the Executor Sword, and you'll interrupt the boss. It will fall down, it will take bonus damage from you and all your party members. And with quick pace, you can position yourself at the back of the boss and inflict maximum damage. When the boss is down, you should also use your Piety mode, which increases the damage you and your team does to the monster that you're fighting. This is an optional skill that I have chosen, Holy Sword, for maximum damage. You should choose Stigmata, that leaves a dot on the ground, weak point detection for push immune foes. All the bosses are push immune. Release Light. That's very good if you're fighting more monsters, but if you're only fighting a boss in Guardian Raid, you should choose Condensed Energy that inflicts more damage. And it's better. This is an important skill that, in my opinion, you should have all the time. Light Shock. With Swift Finger, so you can cast really fast, so you won't have a problem with getting hit by casting too slow. Light's Vestige, this is the most important skill that you should choose, because it casts a debuff on the monster that you're fighting, and all your party members are doing 10% more damage. 10%? What? 10%? You cannot pass this opportunity. More damage. And Powerful Shock, of course, more damage. You should also try to swap Holy Sword with Sword of Justice, that has Way of Light or Insight. Depends. Whatever you want to choose between Way of Light and Insight. And this is the most important perk that you should choose for Sword of Justice. Summon Holy Sword. So with Summon Holy Sword in Sword of Justice and Light Shock, you can keep a debuff on the monster that you're fighting, so that your party members have 10% bonus damage. Wrath of God is another skill that I recommend, and another skill that, in my opinion, you should have in PvE. With Fate, that's the most important perk that you should choose, and Express Fury, that grants attack power to all your party members, so more damage. Again, you should cast this on cooldown. Don't miss it. Holy Protection, these are the core skills. Holy Protection, Wrath of God, Light Shock, Executor Sword, and Charge, and Heavenly Blessing. These are the core skills that you should have. Holy Protection, with quick pace, more move speed for your team. You should cast this on cooldown, so you don't miss the Vow of Light. That makes you a healer. You can heal your team once every 40 seconds. Holy Explosion, this is an optional skill that I have chosen for more damage, with Swift Finger, so you can cast it faster, so you don't get killed by casting way too slow. Explosion Enhancement and Prepared Explosion. Damage over time, very good. This is the core skill that the last core skill that you should have. Heavenly Blessing, with Fate, more Piety, Valor, more damage, and this is optional. I don't think. Maybe for more damage, you should get Heavenly Requiem. I mean, what else can you get? Nothing else. So these are the skills for PvE. The skill rotation would be something like Light Shock all the time. Holy Protection on cooldown. Heavenly Blessing when the boss does something dangerous for your team and you see someone from your team out of position, or the boss grabs a teammate and you need to save him. Keep Heavenly Blessing. Don't waste it or nothing, because it's a very important skill. Also, you should cast it if the boss is down and you need your team to do more damage. Okay, Executor Sword, as I said, when the boss grows blue, go in front of the boss and interrupt it. And Wrath of God, cast it on cooldown all the time. When the cooldown is off, you should cast it, of course. Don't cast it on nothing. Cast it near the boss so you also do damage. And Holy Sword, when it's safe to do it, you should use Holy Sword. That's the rotation. E, Q on cooldown, and Holy Explosion. Because it's a pretty safe skill to use Holy Explosion. You have the range, you have the very fast cast speed. Fighting Necrosena here. So I'm gonna start with Light Shock, as you can see. It's very important to keep the Light Shock skill up all the time. All the time. So. And press the shield on cooldown all the time. It was sloppy, but we did it. So mostly you have to avoid the lightning attacks of the boss. Interrupt him as much as you can and use the plague grenades. That's earth damage. So we finished in 2 people. This guy got the MVP. 47% of damage dealt. So the PvP part. I'm using Alliante's Judgment with charge that has quick prep. You can swap it for extra mobility, shining protection for the shield, or you know, I prefer the shield. An ambush attack that knocks foes into the air. You'll use charge to get close on your opponents and start the combo, knocking the foes into the air. A good combo would be use charge, then wait for them to get up, or if they cannot get up, use Holy Sword right away. So use charge, then swap to Holy Sword that has the propulsion. So after you knock them up in the air, the enemies have the tendency to just use space and get away, but after they use space, you just use Holy Sword on them. You just go forward and you'll catch them, and you can use the skill. I'll show you later in the video. This is my starting combo: charge and Holy Sword. If Holy Sword is on cooldown, you can use Execution of Justice with Rune Prison that gets the foes closer to you. Strength Release for additional damage, and light explosion knocks foes up into the air. That's a disable. I'm also using light shock to get close to the enemies with splendid sphere that inflicts stun for 2 seconds. Light's vestige, you can swap it for fate, more piety meter. I'll do that for the next match. Okay. So these are the catch-up skills. Light shock, holy sword, or charge holy sword. Holy sword is your finisher. It inflicts a lot of damage. Next skill that I'm using is Wrath of God with AoE radius and tenacity. Grants push immunity, so foes cannot push me away. Paired with Light's Guardian. That knocks back the foes and inflicts additional damage. Holy Protection. Quick pace, robust protection that absorbs more damage, and thunderous protection. After the shield wear off, you'll inflict additional damage on your enemies. And of course, you should use Heavenly Blessing on cooldown, especially when the enemy team initiates on your team and you want to protect your team members with Faith, more Piety, Perseverance, and AoE radius, of course, in addition damage. The damage is always good. Okay, let's go into a match and let's see how the skills work together. If they work together. Great, starting the game, we're playing with Bogdanov. Look at him. Starting with the shield, so I'll protect my team. Then continue with the whirlwind thingy. I'll try to catch someone with my stun Hadouken. Failed completely. So I'll try to recover. The buff. Oh, we got that guy. We got him. Another Hadouken missed. Happens. Try to protect my guy. Nice combo. That was it. Pretty easy. Paladin is very strong. And I played with Bogdanov. Are you kidding me? And that guy even looks like Bogdanov. And as you can see, the damage done is very good for a Paladin. So you're doing a lot of damage, you're tanky. And if you're really good, you can do much more damage.